This week in Jamaica Now, no chance at survival. Pathologist gives preliminary findings after Mario Deane autopsy. Human rights advocate says the police are locking up people out of spite. Official funeral for Roger Clarke on September 13, and schoolboy Ritchie goes back to a U.S. court this month for a pre-trial hearing.
The Gleaner turns 180 this September.
And to celebrate,
we're running for charity.
So join us Saturday, September 13 for the Gleaner 180 5K run.
Register online at jamaica-gleaner.com/180run. Cost $1,000.
Includes entry to our breakfast party.
First 1,000 people to register will get limited edition prizes.
Proceeds go to the physiotherapy department at the University Hospital and PALS Jamaica.
That's the Gleaner's 180 5K run, Saturday, September 13, starting at 6:30 a.m. on North Street in the city of Kingston.
The Gleaner. Fit for 180.
Fit for life.
I'm Caroline Brown, and this is Jamaica Now. The government is now awaiting the written findings of an autopsy on the body of Mario Deane, the St. James construction worker who died after a brutal beating at the Barnett Street lockup. Last week, US-based pathologist Michael Baden observed the autopsy on behalf of Deane's family. He later told reporters that the 31-year-old construction worker suffered extensive brain damage, which caused swelling and hemorrhaging.
The autopsy can tell you what happened. It can't tell you who done it. So that's going to depend on credibility of witness statements, the kind of information that the crime lab is developing and that the lawyers are developing from talking to witnesses. And once all of that is gathered, we'll be able to compare it to the autopsy findings and see what the most credible explanation is, whether a fall, whether punches, but he was punched many times.
And Dr. Baden noted that based on the nature of the injuries, there was little chance that Deane could have survived. Meanwhile, the American civil and human rights attorney on the Mario Deane case says she expects more international leaders to join the campaign for justice for the 31-year-old construction worker. Jasmine Rand told a press conference last week that the legal team is in discussions with key international activists who want to support the Deane case. She said as a human family, it is the responsibility of all to ensure that what happened to Deane is not repeated.
In many of the interviews that I've done, people have asked, what can you do? Why are you coming here to Jamaica? And that's really not the question. I hope to be an asset to this movement, but I am not the solution. The Jamaican people wrote the soundtrack to this revolution. Get up, stand up for your rights. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? Are we independent? It depends on what you call independence. On Independence Day, August 6, 2014, another one of our brothers fell victim to police brutality. I am Mario Deane.
And human rights lobby group Families Against State Terrorism says the police high command and the National Security Ministry must intervene to address overcrowding at police lockups. According to convener Yvonne McCullough-Sobers, the police have been detaining persons for minor offences out of spite. And she says another big problem is that the police have been detaining persons and then carrying out investigations. The human rights lobbyist says these violations not only breach the Constitution but also have economic implications. Her comments follow the release of a draft report of Justices of the Peace showing that a number of corporate area police lockups are overcrowded, with detainees being held in inhumane conditions. The police high command is maintaining that there would be nothing unusual about merging the firearm and tactical training unit with other formations. The opposition has expressed concern that the unit was being disbanded because it has been blacklisted under the United States Leahy Amendment Act. The Leahy Act prohibits the U.S. Department of State and Department of Defense from providing assistance to foreign military units that violate human rights with impunity. While admitting that the firearm and tactical training unit is under review, the High Command has stayed clear of responding to the claims that it is being disbanded. It says internal reviews are normal administrative processes within organizations aimed at enhancing efficiency and effectiveness. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Roger Clarke is to be accorded an official funeral on September 13. Clarke, who was also the Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, died on August 28 in Miami, Florida, en route to Jamaica. He had been in Miami recovering from a back surgery. The Office of the Prime Minister says the funeral will take place at the St. George's Anglican Church, Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, starting at 10:30 a.m. He will be buried in his hometown in Glen Isley, Williamsfield, Westmoreland. Clarke's body is to be flown home from Florida on September 10. The pre-trial conference for former Jamaican policeman Errol Cliff Richards, also known as Schoolboy Ritchie, has been rescheduled to September 23. Richards and his co-accused Ronald Mohammed Narani Badlow are before a U.S. federal court on drug-related charges. Schoolboy Ritchie and Badlow are facing charges of conspiracy to distribute narcotics and attempting to import and export narcotics to and from the United States. The two are suspected to be at the center of a multinational narcotics operation spanning Trinidad, Colombia, Venezuela, Canada, and the United States. There were chaotic scenes at Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC offices last week as hundreds of commuters rushed to obtain their smarter cards. Passengers had been given until September 1 to get their cards, but following the rush, the JUTC was forced to extend the deadline by a week. Students and the disabled are charged $30 to ride on JUTC buses, while the elderly are charged $40. However, those without a smarter card have to pay the adult fare of $120. Meanwhile, JUTC Managing Director Colin Campbell has rejected claims by the opposition that the company is to be blamed for the chaos.
Everybody just stayed until the last minute. I mean, you can handle a last minute crowd, you know, but there's a point at which it just becomes very difficult, and the system can only go so much and no further. We communicated, we were putting out maybe 3-4 news releases a day on this matter. And remember, we have changed the deadline 4 times.
And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Carleen Brown, and as we go, more from the press conference held by American lawyer Jasmine Rand and the family of slain construction worker Mario Deane.
I do know that whether or not the police directly participated in brutalizing and beating Mario Deane, whether or not they participated in that, they took his life into their hands when they took him into their custody. And nobody can convince me that no member of law enforcement and no employee in that jail heard his screams, which I'm told may have lasted for 30 minutes.
There are a lot of young men, a lot of sons, brothers, the nephews, you know, and my son is already gone. I'm asking for justice for Mario, but not only my son Mario, but the other Marios that are out there, the other Marios that, you know, about to be born. We asked in Jamaica to come together as one voice. We said, out of many, one people. We are one people. We were first a people before we become political, one side and the other side.
This is total injustice. Total injustice. I would like the system to be corrected. Not for my son's sake, for my son is already gone, as I said before, but for every other man, as his mother said, that is coming up, who will be facing this sort of injustice within the Jamaican society.